Hello students, welcome back to the new video. In this video, we are going to continue the ongoing chapter number 4, Materials, Metals and Non-Metals. In today's session, we will discuss the physical properties of metals and non-metals. Metals and non-metals show different physical properties. So let us start with the first property, malleability. Metals can be beaten into thin sheets with a hammer. Therefore, metals are malleable. So, what is malleability? The property of metals that it can be beaten into thin sheets without breaking is known as malleability. Therefore, what we can say about metals? Metals are malleable in nature. For example, if we take a piece of aluminium metal, place it on a block of iron and beat it with a hammer, we will find that a piece of aluminium metal turns into a thin aluminium sheet without breaking. That is, aluminium metal shows malleability. So here what is the metal we have taken? Aluminium. A piece of aluminium metal is taken, and if we keep it on a hard surface, that is a iron block, and beat with a hammer, we can find that the aluminium metal, the block of aluminium metal turns into very thin sheets without breaking. Therefore, we can say that aluminium metal shows malleability. The property which allows the metals to be hammered into thin sheets is called malleability. So, that is the definition of malleability, that the property which allows the metals to be hammered into thin sheets without breaking is known as malleability. It is due to this property that metals can be bent to form objects of different shapes by beating with a hammer. For example, ironsmiths make different iron objects such as axe, a spade, shovel, etc. by beating block of iron with a hammer. So this malleability property allows the metals to be bent into form different objects with different shapes. Examples are axe, spade, shovel. All these are the instruments used by the farmers, which are made by the ironsmith by making or by beating the iron metal into thin sheets. Non-metals are brittle. This means that non-metals cannot be beaten into thin sheets with a hammer. So we have seen that metals are malleable. But is this property shown by non-metals also? No. Non-metals are brittle. Therefore, non-metals cannot be beaten into thin sheets with a hammer. Then what happens to non-metals when it is beaten? Non-metals break into small pieces when hammered. So we say that non-metals are brittle in nature. Carbon is a non-metal. It is found in many forms such as charcoal, coke, diamond, graphite, etc. If we take a piece of charcoal or pencil lead, that is graphite, and beat with a hammer, it breaks into pieces. So one of the example of non-metal is carbon, and carbon is found in many forms on the earth's surface like charcoal, coke, diamond, graphite, etc. Now if we take a piece of charcoal, that is we say colza, or pencil lead, that is graphite, and beat with a hammer, then it breaks into pieces. It cannot be converted into thin sheets, but it breaks. So this property, due to which non-metals break on hammering, is called brittleness. So this property of the non-metal that they break into pieces on hammering is called brittleness. Now we will discuss the second property known as ductility. Metals are ductile. What does it mean? It means that metals can be drawn into thin wires. Gold and silver are among the best ductile metals. So what is the meaning of ductility? Ductility means that metals can be drawn or stretched into thin wires. And gold and silver are the best ductile metals. Copper and aluminium metals are very ductile and can be drawn into thin wires. The property which allows the metals to be drawn into wires is called ductility. Among silver and gold, copper and aluminium are also very ductile metals. They can be drawn into very thin wires. So, which are the examples of ductile metals? Gold, silver, copper, aluminium, etc. This property which allows the metals to be drawn into wires is called ductility. Non-metals are non-ductile. This means that non-metals cannot be drawn into wires. For example, sulfur and phosphorus are non-metals. When stretched, sulfur and phosphorus break into pieces and do not form wires. So we have seen that metals are ductile. But what about non-metals? Are they ductile? No. Non-metals are not ductile. What does it mean? Non-metals cannot be drawn into wires. For example, you know that phosphorus and sulfur are non-metals. But if we stretch a sulfur or phosphorus piece, it breaks into pieces and do not form the wires. So, what we can say about sulfur and phosphorus? Sulfur and phosphorus are non-ductile. Now, we will discuss about the property called conductivity. Conductivity can be two types: thermal conductivity and electrical conductivity. First of all, we will discuss thermal conductivity. Metals are good conductors of heat. That is, they allow heat to pass through them. Therefore, metals are used to make heating vessels, utensils and boilers in industries. So, the property of metals that they are good conductors of heat, this property is known as thermal conductivity. So, when we say that a metal is thermal conductor, what does it mean? They allow heat to pass through them. Therefore, because of this property, the metals are used to make heating vessels, utensils and boilers in industries. Silver is the best conductor of heat, followed by copper. So, the property that the metals are thermal conductivity find their use in making heating vessels, utensils, boilers in industries, etc. So, out of this, which is the best conductor? Best conductor is silver and it is followed by copper. That is, copper is the second best conductor. Now, what about non-metals? Are they good conductors? No. Non-metals are poor conductors of heat. They are therefore used as insulators. So, metals are good conductors. They find the use accordingly. Non-metals are poor conductors of heat. Therefore, they are used as insulators. Many non-metals are used as handles of cookers and pans. Because of the property that they are insulators, we can use these non-metals to make the handles of cooking utensils like cooker, pans, etc. Now here one thing we have to remember, that diamond which is a form of carbon, and graphite, both are the forms of carbon which is a non-metal. But this diamond and graphite are good conductors of heat. It is an exception. Now we will discuss about electrical conductivity. Metals are good conductors of electricity. That is why they allow electricity to pass through them. We have seen that metals are good thermal conductors. In the same way, metals are good electrical conductors also. That is why they allow electricity to pass through them. Therefore, metals are widely used for making electrical wires and cables. You all know that copper is used in the electrical connections. The electrical wires are made of copper. Then which property of metal is used here? Yes, it is electrical conductivity. The metals are good electrical conductors and this property is used for making electrical wires and cables. Now, which is the best conductor? Here also silver is the best conductor of electricity and copper is the better conductor. That means after silver it comes copper, or we can say that copper is the better conductor of electricity than aluminium. It means that copper is conducting electricity better than aluminium. What makes the metals good conductors? In metals, the valency electrons are free to move out of the atoms. Then what is valency electrons? Electrons are arranged in the different shells in an atom. So the electrons that are present in the outermost shell of an atom are known as valency electrons. In case of metals, these valency electrons are free to move out of the atoms. Therefore, these electrons move inside the metal and conduct electricity. Now, what about non-metals? Non-metals are poor conductors of electricity. That is, they do not allow electricity to pass through them. Example, sulfur, carbon, etc. Graphite is an exception. Graphite conducts heat and electricity, though it is a non-metal. So, we have seen that the non-metals like sulfur, carbon, etc., they do not conduct electricity. But graphite is an exception. That means graphite is a non-metal, then also it conducts heat and electricity. Now, let us discuss an activity. What is the aim of the activity? Aim is to show that metals are good conductors of electricity and non-metals are poor conductors of electricity. So, the property that metals are good conductors and non-metals are poor conductors of electricity can be demonstrated with the help of an activity. What are the materials required for that? Samples of metals such as iron nail, aluminium wire, copper wire, and samples of non-metals such as pencil lead, charcoal, etc., and the connecting wires, pencil cells, and a bulb. So here we need the materials which we want to check for the conductivity, like metallic aluminium wire, iron nail, then copper wire, and also the samples of non-metals like pencil lead, charcoal, etc., and the materials required for setting up a simple circuit like connecting wires, pencil cells, and bulb. Now let us see what is the procedure. Procedure number 1. Make a circuit using a cell or a battery and bulb as shown in the figure. So first of all, we have to set up a simple circuit using the battery or a pencil cell, bulb, etc. Now, second procedure, connect two ends of the copper wire to the objects one by one. So, the end of the copper wire we have to join with the different objects one by one. Now, let us see what is the observation. The bulb glows when the metals and graphite are connected to the copper wire, but the bulb does not glow for materials like charcoal. So, when we connect the metals and graphite in the circuit, we can see that the bulb glows. But when we replace that metal with the charcoal, which is a non-metal, the bulb does not glow. So, what we can conclude from this activity? Metals and graphite are good conductors of electricity, whereas non-metals are poor conductors of electricity, because the electricity flows only in a closed and complete circuit. So, if we keep the non-metals like charcoal, then the circuit becomes incomplete. That means it is not a closed circuit and hence the current does not flow. So, we can say that metals are good conductors, whereas non-metals are poor conductors of electricity. Now we will discuss another property of metal, that is luster. Metals have luster. This means that metals have the ability to shine and reflect light. So what does luster means? Metals are shiny in appearance because they can shine and reflect light. If we observe a freshly cut surface of metals, we will find that they have a shiny appearance. This is called the metallic luster. Here, freshly cut surface means without having any scratches on the surface. So, the smooth surface reflect light in the proper way and they appear shiny. This is called the metallic luster. Lustrous nature of the metals make them useful in making jewelry and decoration pieces. So you know already that we use different metals like gold, silver, etc. for making the different jewelries, and also different other metals are used for decoration pieces. This is due to the property of metals that they are shiny or they are lustrous. Gold, silver and platinum are used for making jewelry as they are bright and shiny. Then what about non-metals? Almost all non-metals lack luster. Here lack luster means they are not lustrous. They have dull appearance and cannot be polished. So non-metals are lacking luster. They are dull in appearance and cannot be polished. For example, sulfur and phosphorus are solid nonmetals which do not have luster. So examples of nonmetals are sulfur and phosphorus. They are solid in the state and they do not have the luster. But here also there is an exception. What is that? Iodine. Iodine is a nonmetal having luster. Now we will discuss another property of metals called sonority. The property by virtue of which the metals can produce a ringing sound when struck with a hard object is called sonority. So what does sonority means? It is a property by virtue that the metals can produce a ringing sound when it is beaten or struck with a hard object. This property is known as sonority. Therefore, usually the metals are sonorous. Sonorous means capable of making ringing sound. Therefore, the metals are used to make objects such as bells. So, have you heard the sound when we ring the bell in the school? You can hear that produce a ringing sound. That is, it will be heard for a few seconds. What does it mean? The metals of which the bells are made up of is sonorous in nature. It can produce a ringing sound. Then what about non-metals? Non-metals are not sonorous. They produce a very dull sound when struck with a hard object. That means non-metals are not sonorous and they do not produce a ringing sound. The next property is physical state. All metals are solid at room temperature and crystalline in nature. So, in the physical state, we can say that metals are solid at room temperature and crystalline in nature. But here also there is an exception. What is that? Mercury. Mercury exists in the liquid state at room temperature. We can say that mercury is the only metal which exists in the liquid state at room temperature. Almost all non-metals are solids or gases. See, metals are solid, but what about non-metals? Non-metals can exist in the solid state and also in the gaseous state. But here also there is an exception. Bromine is the only metal that exists in the liquid state. So, we can say that non-metals can exist in solid states or gaseous state. But only non-metal that exists in the liquid state is bromine. The next property to be discussed is hardness. Most metals are hard, but some are soft. Example, sodium and potassium are soft metals. They can be easily cut with a knife. See, when we hear the word metals, what comes in our mind? They are very strong, hard. We cannot bend or cut with our hands. That is true. Most metals are very hard. but there are some metals which are soft also. And which are they? Sodium and potassium. They are soft metals, and these sodium and potassium metals are so soft that they can be easily cut with a knife. But can we cut an iron piece with our ordinary knife? No. What is the reason? Because iron is a very hard metal, but sodium and potassium are very soft metals. Generally, non-metals are soft. See, by nature, non-metals are soft. But the exception is that diamond. We have seen that diamond is a form of carbon, which is a non-metal. But the diamond is actually the hardest substance known. So, what is the exception here? Diamond, which is a form of carbon, and carbon is a non-metal. But diamond is the hardest substance known ever. Now we will discuss the last physical property of metals, that is density. Most metals have high density. Then what does density mean? Density is the mass per unit volume. We have seen that metals are hard and heavy. Because of this nature, the metals have high density also. That means they have mass per unit volume very high. But sodium and potassium have lesser densities than water. See, we have seen that sodium and potassium are soft metals. Therefore, their density is also low. How do we compare the densities of different metals? We can compare that with the density of water. It is found that sodium and potassium having lesser densities than water, but other metals are denser than water. Then what about non-metals? Non-metals have low densities as compared to metals. So we can say that metals are denser and non-metals have low densities. So students, I hope you have understood the topics very well. But still, if you have any doubt, you can write in the comment section. I will surely try to solve it as early as possible. Here are some review questions. Please solve it in your notebook. Thank you.